Hi, why are you replacing the anodes? They don't look worn. Another thing about service, anodes. So the anodes that we replaced on this engine, something that people might not know about anodes is that it's not just the way they look, because an anode can get worn out from the inside. Theoretically, or well, not even theoretically, basically whenever you do anodes, you're supposed to either look at them or weigh them. Those are the two ways to see if you have a bad anode. If it is 2/3 depleted, well, 1/3 to 2/3 depleted or 50% depleted, or if it weighs 50% less than it did or 1/3 less than it did brand new, then it's bad and it's time to replace it. So weight is something that I think a lot of people might overlook when it comes to when to do your anodes. But also, a lot of people will also do them just as their service. Like they want, here's my service. I've got 400 or 500 hours on the engine. I want to replace my anodes, but do the full deal. So that way in their records, they know when the last time something got changed. So that's something that it's not just a visible thing with your anode. John Lincoln says, Active Captain makes it silly to buy any chart plotter other than Garmin. It's so convenient to sit on my couch and see everything my plotter can. Plan routes, place locations, run my autopilot, etc., all from the phone or tablet. Nobody else has an app even close. That is true. Active Captain, and even before Active Captain, when they have a home port, that is one of the things that I think sets Garmin apart is the usability. I mean, Garmin has been ahead of the market in usability for quite a long time. All the other brands are now pretty user friendly, but before that wasn't really the case. Garmin, for the most part, has always been really user friendly. So, you do kind of got to give it to Garmin for that. Is that to say that Garmin is the best when it comes to fish finders, chart plotters, MFDs, all that kind of stuff? I wouldn't go as far to say that, but they're definitely, I think electronics come down to also who it is that's using it and what they're using it for, because different electronics have different features that different people in different circumstances are like more geared to, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of still look at it like that, opposed to saying this is the best. Well, you can't really say that something is the best of everything when in one situation something is going to be better than another thing. When you reverse a situation, it could be vice versa. So kind of the way I look at that. M. Gallagher, I think I said that right. Can you mount a trolling motor on the transom versus the bow on a 17-foot Boston Whaler? Technically, yes. You can put a trolling motor wherever you want. Will it function correctly? Not entirely. Again, back to the different uses of something. Here's point in case. A trolling motor, yes. For some people, putting it on the bow like that, trolling motors are designed to be on the bow of the boat. That's just what it is. The GPS, the tracking, all the features that it has, the GPS location, when you put the lock there, it's going to want to put that in the front of wherever the current's going, that's the GPS where it's going to hold and let the boat slide around. So if you put that on the back of your boat, now all of a sudden that feature doesn't necessarily work the way you want it to work. But in other situations, in certain rivers and in other situations, you want the trolling motor to be on the back of the boat. So, I mean, think about it as like a kicker engine. You can see a lot of people that use kicker engines on the back. They've got a 25 horse or a 15 or a 9.9, and they just use it for trolling, and it's a kicker engine. So you can use a trolling motor as a kicker engine if you're trying to use your boat in the use of a kicker engine. The way you're using it is needed that, not necessarily a trolling motor like the way you're talking about trolling motor. So two different uses, two different things. Yeah, you can put the trolling motor wherever you want. I mean, you can put the thing off the side of the hull if you really wanted to. I mean, will it function? Yes. Will it function completely the way you want it to? Probably not. I mean, we've seen it in different situations on the bows of boats where anchor lockers and other situations, a trolling motor doesn't always fit perfectly on the bow of your boat. there's all kinds of different configurations. And so, we've seen them where you put the trolling motor across the bow like this. Like this is the bow of your boat, and you put the thing like this and send it over the side. The way it holds the boat and the way it tracks and stuff, it's not going to be nearly as effective. Can you do it? Will it work? Yeah. Whalerman Steve. My 2009 50 horse Merc 2-stroke had the throttle plates open and I didn't notice it, and I started the motor. It revved up so fast and wouldn't shut off. Eventually it ran itself out of fuel. That's interesting. You don't really hear, I mean, that's considered a runaway. That's a runaway like that. You hear more of a diesel runaway. You don't hear of a 2-stroke runaway as often, where the throttle plate is completely open and you've got an issue with the engine and it just takes off until it burns all the fuel out of it. That's more common in diesel, but yes, that does happen in a 2-stroke. So that is something to point out and notice, because it's not as common. I mean, with a 4-stroke, I don't think I've ever heard of a runaway 4-stroke, but 2-strokes, yes, that can happen. Real quick, did you know that on average a boat owner will spend between $1,000 and $5,000 a year just on servicing their engine? And you could actually pocket and save a lot of that money if you would just do the service yourself. It might seem like a daunting task, but I guarantee you virtually everyone can do it with our guidance and the Boaters program. This is just one skill that you could learn inside the program, because we have hundreds of other videos teaching you all kinds of boating skills, as well as a weekly live stream where we have questions and answers with me, as well as a chat feature where you can send videos and pictures, ask all kinds of questions, or look for some advice or some guidance on a project that you're doing on your boat. You can join the program by hitting the first link in the description, clicking join, or visiting bornagainboating.com. Now back to the video.